This video is sponsored by the Nassau Inn, Princeton.
Hi, welcome to Terhune Orchards. My name is Ruwe Mount Hanawald, and I farm here with my parents and my sister. I'm the 11th generation of my family farming in central New Jersey, and we've been at this farm for 40 years. We farm on about 200 acres and grow 36 different kinds of crops. So let's talk about one of our favorite crops that we harvest first in the spring, asparagus. So here we are at Terhune Orchards at one of our asparagus fields. And you might not recognize this as asparagus, but this field is about 5 years old. We have other asparagus plants on our farm that are about 10 years old. One thing about growing asparagus in New Jersey is it's an ideal place to grow asparagus. We really have no trouble growing it. We have a little bit of competition from small bugs, but really we have no problems with it except for that weeds. And so weeds is one thing that we have to compete with. We want our asparagus to get all the space, all the water, and all the nutrients from the soil. So we do control and keep the weeds out of the way. But other than that, New Jersey is an ideal place to be growing asparagus. Asparagus is one of our very favorite crops to grow because it's very first in the spring to eat. And so we're always eager when we start to see asparagus. It means spring is really here. The way that we grow asparagus is that actually you don't plant it by seed, you plant small roots of asparagus. And that first year after you plant it in the ground, you can't harvest it at all. In the second year, we can harvest maybe 1 or 2 weeks only. And then in the third year is when we first get our crop of asparagus. So we really invest a lot into our asparagus plants. The reason for that is that they really need to build up strong roots and be a big kind of root system. So it takes many years for that to develop. Once we have good asparagus plants, we can harvest asparagus from mid-April till mid-June. And the way that we harvest the asparagus is we actually dig and cut the end of the shoot underground. And once we harvest that shoot, another one will grow in its place, and we're able to keep on harvesting it. Here at Terhune Orchards, actually, we harvest asparagus, but also our customers come out and do pick your own, because there is nothing better than fresh, pick that day asparagus. Once we're done with our harvest season of a couple of months, we just notice they start to be a little skinnier and we stop harvesting. Then what we do is we let the plants grow, and they grow until they reach heights that are almost as tall as I am. And this entire field is full of 6-foot-high bushes. And the reason we let that go, they grow all summer and all fall, and those bushes are feeding the roots and building the plant. They then stay dormant all winter, and in a couple of weeks, we'll mow off these old branches, and the asparagus shoots will start to grow once spring really hits. We know it's time to harvest when it reaches about this height. My favorite way to eat it is fresh, right from the field. It's nice and tender. But in my family, what we do is we put a little olive oil on it and grill it every night during the season. So from about mid-April to mid-June we have it, and then we wait again eagerly for the next year and the next spring. I love being a farmer. What I love about it is that I get to be outside, but I also get to work with my family. I work with my parents and with my sister. The other thing that's important to me is that I'm a scientist, and there's a lot of science involved in farming. And it's a real challenge figuring out how to grow all these different crops and how to adjust based on the weather and the conditions that we're growing in. I actually think we're really fortunate to be farmers in New Jersey. For example, my family farms 200 acres, and our farmland is preserved, which means it'll never become a development. And so we're able to farm here with the security of knowing that the next generation will also be able to farm here. And so I feel like it's a really fortunate thing to be able to be farming in central New Jersey. So I hope you want to come and visit us here on the farm, and we have plenty of pick your own crops where you could try and be a farmer as well, and then eat what you pick. One of the funny things on our farm is that we have a duck named Egg. And Egg actually thinks that she's one of the dogs. She sleeps in the dog's yard, she eats dog food, and she's friends with our dogs Apple and Peach. Here you go. And here's Apple and Peach. And we named them Apple and Peach because they actually eat apples and peaches. It's their favorite foods. Right, guys? And those are some of the animals here on the farm.